Tired of constantly repeating yourself when you speak English? Get ready because today I'm going to teach you some perfect words you can use to replace those words you're repeating way too often. And more importantly, will help you sound more natural and interesting when you speak English. Are you ready? Let's go. And the first phrase I have for you today is to sink in. This phrase means that you finally understand something very complicated, or you realize the effect that this had on you. It's a perfect phrase you can use to replace to understand, especially when you really want to emphasize the fact that you understand this idea or fact now after a long period of time. For example, instead of saying, I finally understand English now, you can say instead, English finally has sunk in. And the next phrase we have for you is, time will tell. This phrase is used to say that the results of a situation will only be known after a certain period of time, usually a long period of time. For example, if your friend is moving to another country or city and you don't know how he'll like it there, you can say, time will tell if he'll like it in that new city. The next natural sounding phrase is, of my own volition. This phrase means that you will do something voluntarily without needing an external pressure or force to do it. For example, instead of saying, I will do it for myself, or I will do it because I want to, you can say instead, I will do it of my own volition. And the next phrase is, loudmouth. This phrase is used to describe someone who speaks too much in a very offensive way, or a person who speaks way too much in a stupid or very annoying way. For example, instead of saying, he talks so much, you can say instead, he's such a loudmouth. And the next phrase is, someone is the glue of the group. This phrase is used to describe someone who is very important in a group of people, or it can be used to describe someone who is trustworthy and respected and unites a large group of people together. This person is usually friends with everyone and everyone likes spending time with them. For example, instead of saying, everyone loves Chris, you can say, Chris is the glue of the group. And the next phrase we have is, to be all ears. This phrase means that someone is listening eagerly and attentively to what someone is about to say. Usually they're very enthusiastic and excited to hear it. This idiom is a really perfect way to emphasize to the listener you're really excited to hear what they're about to say. For example, instead of saying, I'm ready to listen, you can say, I'm all ears. And the next phrase is soul crushing. This phrase is a very sad and depressing phrase and is used to describe when someone is completely devastated or depressed about something. Usually something really, really bad, like a breakup of a relationship, a failed test, being fired from their job even. All these circumstances are perfect to use. For example, instead of saying, I was so sad after I failed my exam, you can say, failing my exam was soul crushing. Before we move on to the next phrase, and if you want even more English tips, tricks, and advice, make sure you get my free guide that will give you 7 tips you can use to improve your English faster. So make sure you check the link in the description box and first pinned comment to get this free guide. And now, with that out of the way, let's get back to the video. And the next phrase is, it's all an act. This phrase means that someone was pretending to be someone that they're not. Usually a very bad person pretending to be a very good person. For example, my boyfriend was pretending to be a nice guy. Or you can say, it was all an act. And the next phrase is, a rocky beginning. This phrase is used to describe a situation or relationship not starting very well, but eventually got better with time. You can also hear people say, something got off to a rocky start. For example, the start of the trip didn't start very well. Or you can say, this trip had a rocky beginning. And the next phrase is, to stimulate your appetite. This simple phrase is used to express when someone is hungry. Or usually something very delicious makes another person hungry. For example, the sight of pizza is making me hungry. Or you can say, the sight of pizza is stimulating my appetite. And the next phrase is to loll around, or in American English, to loll around. This phrasal verb is used to describe when someone acts or moves in a very relaxed way or lazy manner. If you or someone lolls around, also you can hear to loll about. It means that you're enjoying yourself just being lazy and doing nothing. For example, after school, my friend just lolled about the house all day. And the next phrase you might have already heard of is cramming. This phrase means that someone is studying a subject intensively before they have a test. Usually implies that they are spending an entire night studying the day before they have a test or an important exam. For example, instead of saying, I didn't get any sleep because I was studying all night, you can say, I was cramming for the test. The next phrase is to lounge around. If you lounge about or lounge around, it means you spent all day relaxing in a very lazy way when you should have been doing something more important or useful. For example, Jack was supposed to work yesterday, but instead he spent all day lounging around the house. Are you excited to try any of these words in your next English conversation? Practice using one of them by answering this question in the comments. How was your day today? What did you do? Did you spend all day cramming for a test? Or maybe you just lounged around the house? Tell me in the comments section and practice these phrases. And don't forget to get my free guide that will give you 7 tips you can use to improve your English faster. Link in the description and first pin comment. Now, at this point of the video, I've taught you a lot of phrases you can use to sound more natural in English. But if you want to shock English native speakers, make sure you watch this video here, where I'll give you 7 slang words you can use to shock English native speakers. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to get more free lessons just like this every week. Also, make sure you hit that like button and smash that notification bell so I know to make more videos just like this. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!